All right, now we're back for Scarif 2.0, and just from this frame alone, you can see that the MOC grew quite a bit. You can really kind of see where we started if you look towards the top right corner. Of course, there's the familiar elements like the X-Wing, the Walker, and then the main island we had, really the only big island we had in the first MOC, and then the two ones towards the very top that it kind of grew into.
Yeah, I mean, it really was. It was like basically you had this kind of square there, which... If you're looking at it, the square is from the bunker to the right where the Walker is.
Yep.
And then it just grew it grew on the left and it grew on the right. It just kind of expanded like in a logical sense, which I was happy with because it wasn't hard to think of what else to add.
For sure. Yeah. No, Rogue One made it very easy to make this MOC. At no point were we like, oh, like what do we build next? Like what can we add? It was always like, can we add this? Like, are we gonna have enough room to do this? There's so many options to choose from. How do we narrow some things down? But I do think we did a good job at, I don't think there's very much more we could have included in this MOC that would have been from the film. So let's go ahead and hit the play button. We can make our way through this. It's just gorgeous to me. Like the water and the islands and of course the like Imperial stuff just combined to make something out. It's just so beautiful to me. I love looking at this.
Oh yeah. Like that, like just like the beach and everything, like that was something I was so happy with. And also, real quick, if you guys can see, obviously this was the Beyond the Brick video that they interviewed us for, which it was like I was pretty starstruck. It was getting interviewed. This whole process was a lot of fun.
We had no idea they were even going to be at this convention, and for good reason. Like Brick Fiesta,
it's low key.
It's a pretty low key convention. And I think, did you and I like maybe joke to each other about it? Like, oh, maybe like we'll get a Beyond the Brick interview or something.
Yeah, no, we were making jokes. Like we were like, oh, yeah, like we were kind of like joking. Like they wouldn't even be here.
Yeah, and then someone walks up to us and they're like, oh yeah, the Beyond the Brick guys are here, and we're like, what?
And we were like, dude, I hope they come by.
I know, right? But also one thing I did want to mention in this video is, do you remember how long it took them to upload this? Like,
yes!
We waited for months before they actually did this. So I think the logic behind it was they wanted to space it out from the Rebel Lug video, because I think that Rebel Lug video came out like the week before we filmed this.
Because everyone kept asking us about that.
Exactly. Everyone was like, oh, you guys in Rebel Lug? No, we're not. But yeah, like it took them forever to upload this, and I had really forgotten about it until I think you probably saw it before I did, and you messaged me about it. And man, that was just one of the most exciting days of my life, just seeing, the MOC we put so much hard work into on like a big platform like that. So let's proceed forward.
The crown jewel of the MOC, the ATACT.
It was nice that was kind of the centerpiece of it. I think the Citadel was probably the thing that stuck out the most, but there was just really something nice to look at in every section of the MOC. No section was really lacking, in my opinion.
Setting up that whole battle scene was a lot of fun. Like, that's probably my favorite part of it.
You really do need to rebuild something like that just to keep.
I would like to. And I think I would do like a more snot technique for the whole like platform, kind of the way you did yours. I like with the sand and stuff.
Man, that was the Reaper. That I still have that ship, and I really do like it. It's a nice looking tight ship.
I need to get one of those too. The crashed U-wing.
Did you have that bunker built before you like brought this section over to my place?
I don't even remember. That one was like I remember that little side bunker being very last minute.
Honestly, I don't think you did, because I think you actually built that one after I built my bunker at my house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I don't think we had that one.
That was basically like all the leftover parts from all the Scarif bunker sets I had.
Yep. Then we got Baze shooting his rocket at the face of the AT-ACT. I did really like that scene.
Yeah, there's a few... If I went back and redid this, there's a few things I'd want to change about the bunker there. I would want to, like, continue the... Because it does kind of curve up and, like, go down at an angle on both the sides.
Yeah.
Mine is just straight until it gets to the top where it curves, so I'd want to do that differently.
And we got Merrick. I don't know what happened to the laser blast we had behind them.
It just fell off at some point, and neither of us cared enough to put it back. We were just too tired.
Man, honestly, like, I really would love to see how this MOC would have ended up looking set up if we had gotten the Zeta class together in a reasonable amount of time. Like, after putting that thing together, I was just so over every part of this MOC. We can talk a little bit more about that when we get to the Zeta class. But yeah, this is where they kind of look at the AT-AT. Got our jet ski troopers here. I remember when I'm pretty sure I had those for like a long time, and
you're just like dying to use them.
I know. I was so excited to put those in the MOC. Hold on, one thing I did want to hone in on was that X-Wing, because... So, this, like, looked so good in the first version of the MOC.
Yeah.
And once we got here, we were just like...
We just plopped it down. And...
We literally were out of water studs. Like, there was nothing we could have done to make this better with the parts that we had, which is really disappointing. Like, obviously, if we had more time, we would have, like, built up the water around it, so it looked a little bit more like a crash. But we were, at this point, we were just like... Forget it.
That's the thing. When the video gets to the Citadel, we'll go more into this, but like we did so much work in like a month and a half.
Yeah, it was insane. We didn't even bother to put like the... Well, never mind. It's such a minute detail.
This is our beach scene. Everyone really got a kick out of that.
Yeah, it was fun to make too.
Yeah, no. Admiral Akbar. This was a reference that like no one got though.
Yeah. I liked it.
I appreciated it.
I love this so much. This is one of the first things I set up on my part of the island. The 3 troops running through, so that was a ton of fun to get put together. I don't think anyone noticed that Star Destroyer sandcastle in the background.
Yeah, it's too far. It was too far away. You couldn't really see it. But I really liked it passed over, but the little squad putting the
the bomb,
knocking out the stormtrooper and putting the bomb on the thing, because it's like what they were running around doing. So.
We had so many scenes in this thing, man. Okay, so let's talk about this guy.
The Zeta class shuttle by my boy Renegade Clone.
Man, so I would consider you and I to be pretty proficient Lego builders, right? Like, there hasn't really been a set we've built in the past 10 years that has given us a problem.
Yeah.
Boy, did that change with this. It took you and I at least, 2 hours to set this thing up?
It was... I mean, okay, so we built it like a night or two before this, when we brought it to this is all in Dallas, so we live in Houston, so it's about like a 4-hour drive away. But we put it together, and then obviously when we transported everything broke down. That one we just kind of set because we didn't really know what to do with it. We took some of the wings off, which was probably not worth it in the end.
No, it was not.
But when we got to the convention, basically you set up rebuilding the Zeta class shuttle while I was just doing everything else.
Yeah.
And it literally
whatever you finished.
I finished doing everything else at the same time you finished putting just that back together, because it was just such a pain.
Dude.
A lot of the front parts, which is, it's a great model. Like, this isn't anything against the builder, the designer, or anything.
Yeah, no, if we because we lost parts bringing it to. We lost actually a really important part.
We skipped some parts. There was some parts that didn't get ordered and stuff. So some of it was flimsier than it needed to be. But putting it back together and getting those wings on there, and it just was. And obviously when you're here at the convention, there's nowhere to work on it, because we have this. It's getting set up on the table. Yeah. That table space is for the MOC. So it's on the ground and pieces are just scattered everywhere. It was just a huge pain. Yeah.
So even to this day, that thing's sitting on my shelf. And it's in pretty rough condition. I've yet to build the confidence to bring it down and spruce it up, because I just have such nightmares of when I had to set this thing up. It was terrible. It looks good though.
Oh yeah, no, it's a great model.
It's a great. I'm glad we built it, and it came at perfect time, right? Because we would have had to make one of these by ourselves if we didn't have this model. It was quite ambitious for us to do this too. It's at least a 4,000 or 5,000 piece build.
Yeah, no, I mean it's nothing small. We split it between us, so it's not like one person took the cost for that. But
look at that! Look at how lazy that is. I couldn't take the time to find 2x3 dark gray wedge plates, so I just said forget it, make them light gray.
That's where we were though. If you looked at my bunker, there's a few of that type of piece missing from my front part too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We could between either of us, we didn't have any more of them.
Yeah.
And it was just too late at this point to order more, because all this was so last minute.
Man, I don't think the volume of pick-a-brick orders that were placed between both of us in this time frame has to be greater than any other time we've been building anything.
But it all came together. I mean,
it did. Yeah,
I loved this area, just all the patrolling troops and stuff.
Yeah, it was so cool. This was really just our way to throw all the extra figures we had. I mean, we ended up with way more figures than this, but we realized we just had so many, so we wanted to fill it in. But here's a great. We have both have great things to say about this part of the MOC. Yeah. Okay, look at the little towers with nothing on them. Yeah, I remember whenever we were kind of deciding what we're going to do in this area, we had so many great ideas, there's going to be walls and there's going to be greebling. Yeah, all this greebling and pipes stuff. And stuff that go through it, and those are supposed to be spotlights that shine onto it. and none of that got done. Like, none of it. Like, we were lucky to get this far.
This was one of those things where it's just like we realized we had to just sacrifice it because we didn't have time. Like, we realized, because I think most of the last minute stuff was mostly spent on putting the Citadel together, which was, I think, the more important thing to like focus on.
Absolutely.
Like, we got like the scenic areas. Like, this was like, you know,
this was honestly, this was one of the last things we built for the MOC, and I know it because I remember the day we left, I was building. This was like, I was building this, and I was putting these little islands together, and you can tell like this section was really lacking because if you even look at the water, like we had no blue studs left, so I had to do like the blue plate and just put like clear on top of it to kind of make it look like water. So yeah, we're just missing pieces. I mean, we just didn't have enough parts. And honestly, what I think actually happened was I wanted to build at least walls, so you know there would be like light gray there, not like the giant sand wall. But I'm pretty sure we ran out of light gray brick in order to even do that.
Yeah, no, we did. We had like nothing left at this point.
Yeah,
we had a bin basically of a bunch of like scrap parts from our various Scarif bunker sets, and that was like it.
Man, crazy times, crazy times.
Like we just had a little speckle of foliage to put there to add something to this area.
The cart made up for it though. Yeah. Like it didn't work for most of the convention, unfortunately, but like
it worked for the video.
Yeah, I know, that was just perfect.
Oh, here we go, another great part.
Oh yeah, we can pause here.
Oh my gosh,
this looks so bad. So like, I like the circle. That was the one thing here that we actually planned, and that one section like right in front of it. Those were the two things that like we kind of built up, like in advance.
But again, though, this was a section that we had such big plans for. Like we wanted the whole like big circle area to come out from like the sides of the Citadel, and you'd have all these little like spires coming off with greebling and stuff, and like the water would go in deeper.
Yeah, have, like, there would be actual waterfalls. Yeah,
but like, yeah, like we've been saying, it's just time. Like, I mean,
like those things aren't even connected to anything. They're literally just sitting.
They're just sitting there. There wasn't enough gray
slopes
so
to finish them off.
So you can see on the far one on the left that there's just like
it just stops halfway through.
Just stop, and like if you looked over it, you would see it. And you could just see through them.
Yeah,
and they're just sitting. They're just sitting there on top of the blue studs.
We really would have been better off just not putting those on the MOC, honestly.
This is just a part. Like this is like where you hope when you're being interviewed by Beyond the Brick, they just like pan over it, not pay attention to it too much. Right. I mean, most people would just look at like the little platform with the shuttle on it. So
yeah. One of the things I also noticed in this frame is if you look at the side of the Citadel,
you
can see, like right here, you can see the those plates. I don't remember what we're going to cover it with.
We were going to put like vents on it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Because like on the actual Citadel, there's like they're not square though. They're more like this, like kind of like a
oval,
like pill shaped, and there's like these giant vents on the side of the Citadel. Chris did them really well in his Citadel.
Yeah,
and it's just something we added because that was one of the first things we did. I was like, hey, we got to have this for later.
Yeah,
and then we just
forgot about it. Yeah. Hey, we remembered Scenic shuttle though.
Yep. And Scenic shuttle, that's the one like Lego set we used in Scarif 2.0.
Yep. Man, but look at that Citadel though. There's one thing I think we did a good job on. It was the Citadel.
Oh yeah, the Citadel like came out so nice.
I just love this view. I mean, you're the one who really. I mean, you built this entire room basically, and you just did such a great job with setting up all these figures. That's why I don't mind letting you set the figures because you knock it out of the park every time.
I got an eye for minifigure art.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah,
absolutely.
No, that was so much fun. Like that's what I was looking forward to at the Citadel.
And the fact I like the window design too. I was quite proud of that.
Yeah, that came out super nice. We lucked out with you having all the right like parts for it and everything.
That was nice.
Like,
that's
planned at all.
That's when we realized our potential with our combined collections, what we can do. This was also kind of something we just put together. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I think in an ideal world, we would have had. I guess
we could have done more with it.
Yeah, more space to basically make it to where like there was the panel. I guess there's like a panel right under the satellite, and then there's the one on the bridge that comes out. Because when she walks up, she looks like at one panel, and then she has to go back.
She has to go onto the big balcony.
Yeah, so we had more details there, and also just enough room to put Krennic up there as well. I don't think did we even have Krennic up there?
No, we ended up not putting him up there. We were going to. I think we ended up getting like a keychain of him because we had two.
Yeah, two between us. Yeah. And I guess that's still the case to this. Actually, I think you got Did you have figures in that second one that you got? Okay, yeah. So to this day, we still only have 2 Krennics.
So we had a keychain one there, but we just didn't even put it up there because I think we realized no one was going to really be able to see it anyway.
Yeah.
You can see Jin there, and that's so you can know what scene it is.
Right. All right. So also you can see at the top right corner, we put the Death Star up there because we couldn't hang it.
People still got it though.
Yeah, they got the point. But now the Citadel. So the lower level could have had some work done.
I wish that it wasn't blue. That's like
every time
I watch, I'm just like, oh man.
So I actually I ended up covering that up, but just not by this video. This video, I mean, I would
the area where the statue was gonna go to.
That was pretty bad. I think I might have covered that up too, but yeah. So if you guys know what we're talking about, so obviously there was the blue at the bottom left corner, but right here, our initial plan was to have basically like a statue of the Emperor. And we're going to use basically all light gray elements of a minifigure, just plain light gray, and then put him standing there with, I don't know, maybe shooting lightning or something
out of his hands.
Yeah.
It's going to be something funny.
Which is pretty goofy, but, why not? And we just never got around to that.
So that's what a lot of this MOC is. There's just spaces left where it's like, well, we were going to do something with that.
Yeah. I mean, we had plans for those bottom rooms, too.
There was going to be a bunch of storage. We were, going to have, pipes and, like I said, pipes and greebling and details and crates and stuff.
Yep. Instead, it just ended up that we put a droid on one side, and I think there's another guy on the other side.
Yeah, it's not even tiled up or anything.
To be honest, though, it was a miracle that this much of the interior of the Citadel got done.
No, this was all done the day before.
Yeah, this was the day before. Yep.
This is, I guess now we can get into literally how much how little time we actually did to get all this put together.
Yeah, so I'll preface it by saying the convention is a Thursday through a Sunday. So Garrett showed up to my house Thursday morning, and none of the interior of the Citadel was there. I think we had maybe the room that you built where you look out to where they deploy the garrison, and the K2SO room. But the big room where they get Stardust and this bottom level, there was literally nothing down there.
Yep. It was that's why we ended up going, we went to, we weren't there on Thursday at all.
No,
we missed the first setup day, and we got there late, 5 o'clock on Friday. So we got there pretty late, and so thankfully setting this whole thing up really didn't take that long.
Right.
Because we were also spent a lot of the next day doing various fixes. Obviously, we've been talking about all this stuff that we left uncompleted, so it really wasn't even complete, But
yeah, no, I think you had to place all that water.
I was placing water, yeah.
And I was just going ham on the Citadel. Cause I remember on the inside, because I remember, we got to the point where you were just do you just want to not do rooms in it? And I was just no, I want to do rooms in the Citadel. That was one of the biggest things I wanted to do. So I think I did a pretty decent job with the time that we had.
Yeah, no, it came out looking great.
This level I was particularly happy with, just with all the troops going through the design on the floor. Obviously would have liked to have had that statue, or at least tiles where that big hole in the floor is.
There's another thing that we were going to add in. We'll point out in just a sec, but I always liked that. Okay, well...
What were you going to say?
The little reverse slopes coming out that we were going to put the big Empire sigil on it.
Here, we'll see if there's a good angle on it. Otherwise, we can just talk about it.
This is a great room.
I love this so much.
Okay, right there.
Right there. So the bottom left corner, you guys can see there's some reverse slopes sticking out of the wall. And the plan was to do
Is it going to be an observation deck kind of thing? Or then later on we thought maybe slow it down and just do a big built Empire logo or something.
So I think the plan was actually to have the observation deck there, and then above it would have been the Imperial logo. Which would have been really cool to pull off. We just didn't have time to get to either of those things. but what we did make time for was the Lego store, because why not? A lot of people really did get a kick out of this, so I'm glad I did finish it up. It's a pretty good build in my opinion.
Yeah, I know, it's awesome.
Got to use that.
I love the yellow lights, the kind of Star Destroyer, Death Star lights, but in yellow.
Yeah, that was awesome.
You know what's awesome now is I don't know what's the new that Lego store set that's $30 or whatever. Yep. That has a little just 2x2 red Lego piece. That would have been perfect to put there.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep. Well, I snatched that off a keychain, but no, that would have been totally perfect. I don't know if I have any pictures of it, and it kind of makes me sad. But on the second day, I think I spent just various points of the day setting up the figures, kind of a second half of the battle orientation. And I emptied out the Lego store because everyone was kind of running around trying to deal with the rebels. But on the bottom level, I put the guy who's buying that set right now, I put him holding it, like running around with it, kind of freaking out. I thought that was kind of funny. So if we proceed forward,
there's the mini kit.
Oh yeah, that started quite the trend. With us putting mini kits in sets.
People expect things now.
Yeah. All right, moving up. We can just take a moment to just soak this in, because I really do like this room. But do you have any particular memories with putting this thing together? Any complications?
It was just an absolute joy. I mean, like, most of these were parts that you had.
Yeah.
Because we built it here. And so, like, being able to just go through and, like, building the consoles and, like, the chairs, like, being able to, like, go all out, making these, like, nice-looking chairs and setting up like, having all these minifigures to just choose from.
Yeah.
Like,
we had a lot of tiles, too. I remember when we were placing orders for this, we had to obviously get the tiles from Pick-a-Brick because that was the cheapest way for us. But we had basically placed an order for light gray, dark gray, and black tiles, like a 2x2s. And I just remember us having just like giant bags of all of those tiles.
Yeah, no, it was an absolute delight to set up. And actually, so this is an ice cream stormtrooper there, but this is actually different from the previous ice cream stormtrooper because he is in the back of the bunker, which we won't see in this video, but.
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah, that's right. He had the black cup. Okay, yeah that's right.
So there are two ice cream stormtroopers, but the one from 1.0 that made it to 2.0, unfortunately, we will not see in this video. But I promise you guys he's there.
Yep. That is correct. If you guys want to see him, you can check out the video that I did on this mod. I actually go back there and open up that bunker. I think I have a shot of him in it.
This is back when getting gray hats for Imperial officers was like a huge deal too.
I don't think we had a single gray hat in this mock, did we?
No, we didn't, because the only one we had was an older one, and I didn't,
that's right. We want to use it.
I didn't use it.
I had tons of black hats though. All right, so we can actually pause here for a sec. So, I don't know what we were planning to put behind that door. I think initially the goal...
It was going to be a hot tub. It was going to be the beach troopers.
I was going to say, so first, like, ideally we would have had the big, like, archive room, like, be able to go behind it. And we just eventually realized it was too big, so we just put it kind of above it. But the second plan was to do the hot tub, which just never ended up happening. My third plan would have been to just at least put a door there so there wasn't just a gaping hole going into the structure of the Citadel. Also, just never got around to that, so it's kind of a trend with this mod. But I do appreciate the scene though, of K2SO holding his gun out. That was really cool to recreate.
Yeah, but like I will say about that, of all the things that like we didn't have time to put in, that's probably one of the like least harming ones because you can't really tell. Yeah. Unless you really look at it, that there's just nothing there. Like if you look at it, if you're looking at it from far back, it just looks like it's just gray. It's just like the door's just closed.
It's nice. It's good that they're like the walls on the inside of the Citadel were also just gray.
Yeah, it's gameplay. It's not a bunch of like filler brick in there.
Yeah.
It's like red and blue.
Yeah, we got good old K2SO gunning down some troops.
I was glad that like the Rogue One had a lot of very recognizable scenes. So
yeah, that was really nice.
That was one we got to do.
So let's talk about this room. So I mean, building this was pretty straightforward. It took me a while. Really, because, and I'm mad I spent so much time on this because it ended up not really being visible at all. But basically, in the scene, there's like various red lights behind kind of the archives. So I put like 1x1 red studs behind all of those grill tiles, and you can tell kind of like right there in the upper corner that they're there. But otherwise, like you can't even tell. And I spent so much time on that, and I'm like, I really regret that because I would have saved so much time by just not doing that. But I really did think it would make a cool effect, and it you know, you live and you learn.
Yeah.
But the other part about this build was, so I remember on the day we were about to leave, and you handed it to me, and I was walking outside with it, and this basically the top of the Citadel was a section that was maybe like 2 feet tall, so it wasn't really huge, so I could hold it in my hands, and I was holding it like where this part was facing down. And as I was just walking through my front lawn, everything in it just fell out into the grass.
Just shattered.
It was just so depressing. Like, I'm mad we didn't get a picture of it. I think we were too just upset.
That whole day was stressful. We were just trying to get to Dallas. So
we couldn't even appreciate like how hilarious that was because it was so depressing. But I threw it all in a bag or a box or something and rebuilt it at the convention. When I rebuilt it at the convention, it actually didn't take long at all.
Mm-hmm. But I was pretty impressed with how quickly you got it whipped back up, actually.
Yeah, but it was that just didn't have to happen. Like, that day would have been a lot better if that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I really do like the room though. I think
it looks great.
I thought it looked awesome. Of course, got the lights up there. That was kind of a last minute thing.
That's also why they're not Lego.
Yeah, yeah. I got the janitor. I was quite proud of that. In hindsight, I would have made him flesh tone, but
yeah, it was again just. I mean, it wasn't last minute because we'd planned on having that reference in there for a while, but it was just that was just the only janitor to get.
Yeah, basically. But a lot of people did get a kick out of that at the convention.
This is another great little Easter egg, I thought.
We even used Handsome Luke.
Oh yeah, that is Handsome Luke. Look at him. Like,
this was back in the day when like
Luke.
the non-handsome Luke, like the newer one, it wasn't like that accessible.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, there's so many of that guy floating around. So, same thing with the Leia, honestly. Like at this point, that's the Death Star Leia, so that would have been actually kind of hard to get. But yeah,
angry Leia.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I like the scene a lot. We did a better job in this scene than Lego did on that Death Star set. So,
in our Rogue One mod.
Yeah, in our Rogue One mod, yeah. But no, I like it. It was pretty cool to add into it. People got a kick out of it. One of the things I will say about this mod, like there were tons of Easter eggs, but I don't think that the sum of them took away from the overall aesthetic of the MOC.
It was perfectly in line with like that Lego Star Wars sense of humor.
Exactly. No, we did a great job with that, in my opinion. But
like overall, it's not too serious, but at the same time, it's not like just too jokey.
Exactly.
It's like,
it doesn't detract from the.
We're trying to make a replication of this big scene from a movie. Yeah, and we did that.
Man, a lot of 2x6 darker gray bricks were used in the making of this.
Yeah, people that watch the streams and stuff know we've said this numerous times for anyone who hasn't seen. This whole Citadel is basically 1x1 dark gray bricks, 1x2 dark gray plate, 2x4 dark gray brick, 2x6 dark gray brick. That's pretty much, that's like 95% of the Citadel.
Yeah, with some light gray in there every now and again. But yeah, man, that's really it. Like that's Scarif 2.0. It was a heck of a build. We really, there's no way to really convey to you guys just how quickly we had to build this. But just imagine, like, Comic Palooza was was it May or June?
It was in May.
It was in May.
Like, I want to say, like, latter half of May.
Yeah, so let's say, like, mid to late May is when the first version of this MOC was built. And this convention happened 4th of July weekend, so the maximum amount of time we had would have been a month and a half to get this thing together. And you can see that first MOC grew by like 4 times into what you see here. So, I look at it often and I'm always like, oh, I wish we would have had more detail here and there. But for the time we had...
What we did and the time we had, like...
It really is remarkable.
I can't believe it.
Yeah. No, yeah, like...
And because, like, that's, like... Think about how much time we spent building that Citadel. But, like, that's not all we were doing, because I was working on, like, my half of the things, and you were working on your half. Mm-hmm. So, like, there was multiple things going on, plus the Zeta class shuttle, which thankfully we didn't design ourselves. So
yeah, I remember, like, you were like, oh, I can just whip one of those together.
I'll whip one up.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't have to do that. So, shout out to Renegade Clone.
Yeah.
I do wonder if that didn't come out, like, what we would have done. My guess is we just wouldn't have had one.
That's my guess too. Yeah, my guess is we probably would have used your UCS Imperial shuttle.
Yeah, and just put it there. Yep. Glad we didn't have to.
We'd be talking about that now. Like, we'd have loved to have built our own, but we just didn't have time.
Yep. But one last thing I did want to mention is the water. So obviously the bigger change is the brick built water that we did here, as opposed to just pouring the studs in. And I mean, I can't even imagine how many hours we would have saved on this MOC had we just kept our initial design. But the overall aesthetic with it, like, it's totally worth it in my opinion to do the water this way. Like, it looks beautiful. The light blue looks better against the tan of the sand, and I mean it looks great. Like, it just looks so nice in my opinion.
Yep. It was worth it. It was worth all those, like, blistered fingers.
Yeah. Oh my god. You spent so much. I mean, I spent a lot of time, like, of my own time building up the water on mine, and I think we finally got enough water in to do your side, like, towards the very end.
Yep.
And you spent so much time just sitting over there just stacking water, so yeah, that really is gonna finish it up for our reflection on Scarif, guys. Overall, I would say I'm pretty happy with it. Like, I don't want to say, like, I wouldn't want to go through this again, but if we had to, I wouldn't be too upset because it's like part of it obviously was very stressful, but it was still exciting that we were stressed over something that we both love to do.
Yeah.
You know?
If we were ever to do Scarif again, which I really doubt, like it would be something we'd have to spend more than a month and a half on it.
Yeah. let's pencil Scarif in for about 3 months. We'll see what we can do together.
Well, really, we can get something twice as big. We can build a Citadel. Like, how tall was ours? Like,
it was probably like 6.5 feet tall.
6.5 feet. Okay,
Yeah.
so 13 feet tall.
13 feet.
That still doesn't meet Chris's though. I think his. Is
I think
like
it
16.
does.
I think his is 16.
No way. No way.
Is it not 16?
No.
Okay.
No, it is not.
All right, never mind.
His Citadel ended up, I would say, probably around 9 or 10 feet.
Okay.
But, I mean, obviously he did an amazing job with that. But we're coming for you, Chris. We got a big Citadel on the way. Maybe we should just build the Citadel. Imagine...
Oh, yeah, just the Citadel.
Yeah,
That'd
just
be cool.
spend a year building a
year?
30-foot tall Citadel.
Where do you put it? Just put it outside?
Yeah. I have half of it at my house, and you put half of it at your house, and then we'll bring them both separately to a convention and
Like
stack
take
them
them
up.
on like a trailer.
Yeah.
You get a U-Haul.
Man, that's Citadel. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed that. I appreciate you for watching the video. Like I always say, if you like what we do, go ahead, support the video by hitting the like button, support the channel by smashing that subscribe button, and we'll be back again very soon.
And subscribe to GarrettBricks.
Yeah, subscribe to GarrettBricks.